Welcome to the Messy Bun Sisters podcast.
Woo, woo, woo.
Episode. Who are you?
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Lauren. And this is episode 3. And today we're talking about
Mexicanas.
Okay.
Soy mexicana.
Somos.
Yeah, soy.
Obviously, we don't speak Spanish. Oh my God, I know.
Let's not. Look, I mean, we can start with that.
Okay.
How we're frustrated about that.
Well, okay. Also, this time we're drinking water instead of wine.
That's a big old thing of water.
And I had
to take that off the video.
No. Well, I filled this up for those of you just listening. This is like a gallon, and I only got a fourth of the way done. Fine, it's off the table.
Just drink your sparkling water.
Thank you from HEB.
Like a real North Sider.
Well, yes. So we are Mexican Americans, like 1,000th generation.
Yeah.
And we don't speak Spanish.
Because we're 1,000 generations in San Antonio.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You're in charge of this podcast,
I know.
so you're leading the way.
Okay. So we are Mexican American. Okay, so let's talk about we're Mexican American, but we also like have Spanish influence. I feel like you should have been in charge of this podcast though, because you've done so much like ancestry.com and blah 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 blah.
Well, I mean, ask me what questions you want.
Tell us about what you know about like dad's side of the family and how deep our roots are in San Antonio.
I mean, okay, so our cousin Adri has probably done like way more research on dad's side of the family than I have, but
you've done more than me, so go ahead.
Okay, so basically like what I've seen is we have pretty much stayed like in the San Antonio area forever.
Okay.
So, I mean, well, seriously, like we were there when it was Mexico, and then when Texas took over, obviously, and then when the United States took over Texas. But I just, as far as I've gone back, which is probably like.
Do our listeners know that we're from San Antonio, Texas?
I mean.
Now they do.
Now you know. Yeah, I mean, I put it all over social media and stuff.
True, go ahead.
So we're from San Antonio. We're like big red drinking, barbacoa eating, Spurs loving.
San Antonio.
Yeah, anyway. So on that side, that's like as far as I've seen. Now on mom's side, obviously like we're from, Mamo and Papo are both like from the Valley area. So we're still from Texas, but a lot of Papo sides too, which is my mom's dad, comes from the like Europe, like Spain. So that's why I'm like extremely light skinned. A picture I literally just posted on Instagram on our story, Messy Bun Sisters, at Messy Bun Sisters. The white text faded into my skin like that. Like that is how like white I am. And it's because of our European influence. Now, Alyssa and Alec, they're really like olivey.
Because we also have...
I'm just sad about it because I just am white.
But you have that contrast of the really black hair and the really white skin, like Snow Whitey.
I guess. Anyway.
So I feel like Alec and I are darker because we have Indian influence as well.
Native American.
That's what I meant. Politically correct. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So we do have for sure Native American, like in our blood, in our skin.
Not yours, mine.
Definitely not mine. But yeah, we definitely have that huge influence of Native American. I mean, but at the end of the day, we are mostly like Mexican and Texan.
Yeah.
And
we're Texan.
Yeah. We're just really proud Texans. But yeah, it was just, you know, all the research that I've done. It's really cool to see like the ancestry stuff. I've never done like the where you spit in the thing and you send it off. I've never done that. I want to do that so bad, but I feel like, I burped.
That's that sparkling water.
I know. I should go back to my big jug. Anyway. Anyway, I feel like I forgot what I was going to say, man. Anyway, we're just Texan at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
San Antonian.
yeah, San Antonian. And I don't know, I feel like mom's side of the family really expanded into all of the United States. Like we have
Right.
family in Colorado, in California, Utah they're at now. I'm trying to think where other family members are. Pretty much like on the West Coast, which is kind of funny. But dad's side, a lot of them stayed in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Like they just, and I feel like that is a cultural thing. I
Yeah.
mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like I just really feel that.
It's a San Antonian thing,
You
honestly.
think?
I mean, go ahead.
That was my point, is I feel like being maybe South Texan,
Okay.
like you stay where your family is forever.
Yeah.
We talked about that yesterday about if Liam would stay, Alyssa's son.
I know, and I was so sad thinking I did not even think that he might move away one day.
Yeah.
Like he might go to college somewhere else.
And want to stay there and marry a woman who's from there and her
And
family.
only see me on holidays. So sad.
He's 3 months. Calm down.
Yeah. I still have time with him.
I
Cherishing every moment.
Yeah.
It'll be fun seeing him grow up and stuff. And we'll tell him stories about how we grew up and stuff. Too.
And they'll just like convince us to stay in South Texas just like our parents did.
Yeah.
Kind of guilt us into staying.
For sure. I'm going to do that 100%.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of great things about growing up in South Texas,
Yeah.
South Central Texas, I feel.
I think a lot of great things had to do with our family.
Yeah.
Like we just have a really great family and support
On both sides.
system. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And maybe that is like part of the culture too, part of the Mexican culture. I mean, maybe it's just for us. I don't know. But I feel like a lot of other like Mexican American families that we know always have like a great. Oh, there's my burp again.
Maybe we shouldn't be drinking sparkling
Okay, I'm
water.
putting my sparkling water to the side. Back comes a big jug.
Alrighty. Were
But-
you going to say something?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you because I obviously was there as well, but Christmases are a big deal in our family.
Yeah.
And growing up, I feel like you were closer to dad's side just because I was the youngest cousin on dad's side. So I didn't really grow up with like the crazy Christmases. I was there, but I was young. So I want to know like if you could just, tell me a little bit about
You don't
Christmases.
remember?
I do remember, but I want to know a little bit more.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of, and I feel like I feel like a lot. Right?
Try not
Okay.
to do that the rest of the time.
I'm going to like pinch myself every time I say that. So on dad's side of the family, yes, it was really loud and really crazy, but a lot of fun, I feel. And even though there was, some animosity, I guess, like with a lot of the adults, they never let us see that ever,
Right.
They
Didn't know about that until we were older.
Right. And so every time I went to like Wella's house, I felt, especially for Christmas time, I always felt like really joyful and happy to be like around the cousins because, the adults made it feel like that for the kids, even though like it wasn't all cool with the whole family. But yeah, I mean, I don't remember a ton because when Wella got sick,
Yeah.
and when Wella passed away, I wasn't that old. How old was I?
I'm not sure.
2008. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I feel like we started going to our other cousin Little's house after a while. So those are the memories that I like really remember is going to our oldest cousin's name Little. We would go to Little's house.
Her name is not Little.
I mean, her name is kind of Little, but we would go to her house, and those are what I really remember.
Yeah.
But I just
Well,
remember.
me too, because
Yeah.
I was older.
I also remember Alec always getting a bike.
Oh
Every
my
single year
gosh,
he would get a
every
bike.
year.
Yeah. But then when Catalina was born and you weren't the littlest anymore, then she would get all the
she's
presents.
like 13 years younger. I was like 13 years old when she was born.
Really?
Yeah.
She's like 15 now. How old are you?
She's
She's 15. Yeah. Welcome to life.
okay, so she's like 11, 12 years
She's
younger
not
than me.
that
But
much.
still, that's a lot.
Yeah, I guess. But she was a baby.
Okay, I will say this. I am the baby of our immediate family.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest on dad's side of the family. I have never felt like the typical baby thing.
What does that mean?
It means Alec was spoiled for Christmases.
Yeah.
And then it was always Alec, because Alec and I've said this before, are a year and 10 days apart.
Yeah.
So it didn't really feel like I was the favorite.
Oh my God. Yes. Alec was really spoiled, and he is still kind of spoiled even though he's
But
20.
we love him anyways.
Yeah.
Oh my
I do love Alec. I'm kidding. Anyway, so yeah, Christmases at Wella's was really crazy. I feel like there was always a lot of food, always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just old videos and stuff were really cool. Yeah.
And barbacoa.
Yeah.
And big Mexican breakfasts.
It was really, yeah.
really
See, you
fun.
remember?
I remember the food.
Yeah. But then we would go to Mamo's house, which is our mom's mom and dad.
Quiet.
And it's just so quiet just because we have one cousin, Paige.
Yeah.
And was the baby.
Yeah.
And she is a really quiet person as an adult anyway. So I was
just
the
quiet.
loudest
Lauren
person.
was like, yeah.
They're crazy.
Got all the attention.
Yeah.
And
Anyway, that was probably the most memorable time, I guess, growing up as kids is Christmas time. Don't you think?
yeah. Those are some of my favorite memories. I mean, it's hard for me. I just don't ever have a good memory. Does that make sense?
Huh.
Like, I don't remember a lot is what I mean.
Why?
I have good memories, but I don't have a lot of memories. I don't know. I've never I have to reach to have a memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
That's why I'm really thankful for like home videos,
Mm-hmm.
because then I can like rewatch them.
Do you ever feel like, and our Aunt Lisa does this, it's like you see
Yeah.
a video and then you're like, I remember being there.
Yeah.
There's one particular video where obviously it's a video of us being kids and running around, and Lisa is nowhere to be found.
Right.
She doesn't, not even speaking in the video. And she's like, I remember I was there. And you were like, no.
You remember the video?
Yeah, it's a projection, and you created a memory in your. That's really weird, actually.
It is weird.
Anyway, back to being Mexican American in South Texas.
Yeah. I mean, what else, like, with our family would you say kind of made you realize, like, oh, I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of Mexican Americans in San Antonio, so I never really felt like out of place or any sort of like weird culture shock until I went to Oklahoma.
Okay.
When I went to Oklahoma for school, I had a crazy culture shock.
Really?
And I mean, not to be like mean or anything, but like everyone was white. You know, like everyone was white. There were a couple of Native Americans. There were a couple of like African Americans. There was hardly any Mexican Americans, but there was like a ton of white people.
Yeah.
And I wasn't used to that. I'm like used to being surrounded by all this culture of Mexican Americans and, you know, being prideful and fiesta and everything. But going to Oklahoma, and this, I shouldn't say this, this sounds really weird, but I felt like so I lived in an all-girl dorm, and I felt like every single blonde hair, blue-eyed white girl looked the same. And isn't that so?
Maybe you shouldn't say that.
Oh my God. No, but like at first, because when, I don't know, it was just really strange. Like that's how it was. Like that was the culture shock that I experienced. And I don't know, it was just very strange. I remember.
It's really great in San Antonio. There's a lot of different.
Yeah, it's for sure like a melting pot.
But it's heavily. You have some.
Oh no, lipstick
on your chin.
Oh no, it's all on my mic too.
On your chin.
Okay.
You're making it worse.
Okay, go ahead. Talk.
Okay, so I feel like I don't know what I was going to say.
We're talking
then
about.
I started saying, I feel like
I know. Hint yourself.
I am. I don't remember.
We're talking about how there's so many Mexican Americans in San Antonio. But I mean, I was like 17 or 18. So for that whole time in my life, I've been surrounded by a lot of different groups of people, heavily Mexican American people.
Right.
You know, and that culture and being just immersed in it, even if I don't speak Spanish. But like it was the first time I ever experienced culture shock. Like
a feeling like I'm the only Mexican American.
Yeah.
Here.
And you know, and looking back, people would even call me like the Mexican.
Crazy.
I know. Not like in a like
derogatory or anything.
Yeah, it was very much like a term of endearment, and I accepted it, which looking back now in like 2018, I was like, I don't know if that was probably the best thing to do. Anyway, but it was an interesting time in my life when I wasn't surrounded by, first of all, my family, you know, and then the culture I had grown up with. So and I mean, thank God, not that I would notice anything, but I never really got any sort of I never encountered like a racist or anything.
That's good.
Like that, you know.
Neither have I, actually.
Yeah. That we know of. Maybe we're just like stupid and we're just like, everyone's so nice and perfect and blah, blah, blah. And there's really people like staring at us in the corner, but
whatever.
Anyway, yeah, I don't care. But yeah, I never experienced that, thank God. Which there are people out there that do, which is really incredibly sad. And we can talk about that in another podcast. But anyway, yeah, that was the one time where I had actual culture shock going into like a different place.
Because I've never felt like that, but that's because I've never left San Antonio.
Like the rest of the family. Do you want to go somewhere else? Like, is there another place?
Never want to live anywhere else.
Never?
I mean, we've been to a lot of places. We've been, you know.
I thought you wanted to like in
States.
Flagstaff, Arizona.
I would never live there.
What's Sedona?
Sedona. I love Sedona. It was like one of the best trips ever, but it's beautiful and there's like all these things to do, but there's just nothing like San Antonio.
Why do you say that?
I say that because there is so much culture here. You know, I mean, there's a lot of culture there too, but it's different. I just feel
it's like your background.
Yeah, like it's like, okay, there's culture there, but it's like a different kind of culture. It is a lot of Native American culture there, but here it's like I relate more to the Mexican American thing. Yeah, I mean, and so
why do you say there's nothing like San Antonio? Like, what makes San Antonio to you so special?
I think I think one of the big things that I like about San Antonio is that it is a huge city, but it's a small town.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to a lot of people every single day, and it's so weird the amount of times that I'm like, this is the first time I've met you, but you know this person that knows this person.
Yeah.
That knows me.
That's really weird.
Crazy. And I worked in Alamo Heights and in Stone Oak, and same thing has happened both places. And I like grew up not in those areas.
You grew up in Stone Oak, kind of. Be real.
We grew up going to the Stone Oak area, but we didn't grow up in the Stone Oak area.
Yeah. We grew up kind of like where
I don't know.
What it would
like
be called
by Madison High School. People will know that.
No, we grew up like by Wayland Baptist.
Okay, people will know that too.
And Rackspace. Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Morgan's Wonderland.
There we go. People know that for sure.
Yeah.
Even
and I was gone. I was gone when all of Morgan's Wonderland was being built. I was in college. So
me too. We didn't live there around there anymore at the time.
It was kind of exploded. But anyway, yeah. So what makes
that's a big thing. Sorry, that's a big thing to me that I love about it.
Yeah, is that you feel like you will always know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah, it's
kind of scary.
Sometimes you wanna go
where everybody knows your name. Where is that for me? I guess local coffee.
Yeah.
Chavano.
That's our favorite thing to do in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Is coffee shops.
Yeah. We just like coffee shop hop.
We do coffee shop hop, but our home is local coffee, Chavano.
That's funny.
I mean, it used to be Santerra.
Yeah. And then we moved. But then I also like go to Indy because Trent used to work there. And he was like,
yeah, we would go to Indy every Saturday.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
I don't know.
Rude.
I don't want people to know where we're going.
True. Okay. Maybe we're at Indy every Saturday. Maybe we're not. But that was when Liam was first born. He was 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
And we took him to Indy Coffee on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And we were there almost every Saturday for...
I wonder why we stopped. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, those are the things too that make like San Antonio so special too, is because I feel like we started really getting into that because Trent started getting into coffee and then he started making friends like in the coffee world. And then the coffee world just kind of like exploded.
In San Antonio.
Yeah. And then those people knew those people, knew those people, knew those people.
Because they all started working at local coffee Santerra.
They did. Yeah. The majority of them all started working at Santerra.
Yeah.
And we all knew them, and we used to work right there. So we would always go in and talk to everyone. Anyway.
I miss those days.
I know. I think it was Indie Coffee posted on Instagram the other day a picture of Mark and Alex and Jason. And
Aww.
I know. And then of Jake.
Yeah.
Just like back in the good old days.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Like that's when we used to go to local like all the time. Yeah. Anyway.
That's one of our favorite things to do in San Antonio. What are some other things that you like to do here?
I always go to La Gloria.
Yes.
Not always, but okay. So we used to live in the Pearl, and we would, this is before we moved to New York. We would literally, if we didn't have anything to do that night, we'd like, let's just go to La Gloria. So we'd walk to La Gloria, get 2 margaritas, chips and salsa, which at the Dominion they're free now. And we would go, it would get like a quesadilla, and that's what we would have for dinner. And we would just like hang out, and it'd be like on the outside bar and just talk to the bartenders or whatever.
So nice.
And
the
that was
atmosphere
just,
there is awesome.
And that was just like, it's right on the Riverwalk, you know? So you could, I think.
It's on the like New River Walk.
Is it new still?
I mean, because when people think of the Riverwalk, they think of
Like Riverside. Riverside.
That's where you were in New York.
Yeah, Riverside Park. I meant what's the mall?
River Center.
River Center Mall.
Yeah.
That's what I think about when I think the Riverwalk.
That's what I'm saying. La Gloria is on the new, quote unquote, new side.
The newest side, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we would always go to La Gloria. Oh my gosh, why am I coughing all the time? Every single podcast, I cough at least once.
Maybe it's my house.
Maybe it's your dog. But yeah, so La Gloria is definitely a fun place I always like to go to. Now that I work from home, I love to work from Revolucion.
Yeah.
And you're the one that actually told me about Revolucion when you used to work at in Alamo Heights. Yeah. Like it was just okay. So initially, I love you, Revolucion now, but I used to walk in and I used to hate the smell of coffee and juice. I'd be like, I don't want to go here.
I remember you said that.
Yeah, I hated the smell together. I just didn't want to go in. I was like, who would ever do this? This is so gross. Yeah. And it was in there next to
the small one.
Yeah, and they were next to Pino's palette. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now they're in this like really awesome, cool, open concept build, or I guess it used to be a club, right?
It used to be. There was a lot of things it was before, but
yeah. And I just love to like eat their acai bowls and just drink coffee and just work, just chill. I love Revolucion.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
But
it's also a coffee shop.
Well, because I would go there every single day. I would go for coffee, and then I would go for a juice, and then I would go for their. They used to have their tamales. I don't know if they have those anymore.
I don't know.
They had like vegan tamales.
I feel like they do.
Oh my gosh, they were so good.
And you know what's funny is I used to work at Rackspace. You're coughing too. And one of the Rackspace girls is a barista there now.
Oh, no
and
way.
so it's like kind of cool. Like again, like you know someone who knows someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know, some people from Rackspace always, or ex-Rackers, whatever you want to call them, would always come in. Anyway, I guess what else? Like whenever I bring people into San Antonio, I love to take them to like the riverboat.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing to do. I know,
it's so touristy, but I love it.
I just had friends in town from New York, and I was like, let's go to the riverboat. And what's cool, we went in by the Aztec Theater. There's a little place right there where it's margaritas to go. And so cool. Trent and Matt got margaritas to go. We took them on the boat, and we were just like going around. And I really feel like Dad would be good at one of those.
Yes.
A tour guide. I know. Anyway.
Dad, if you're listening.
If you're listening to our podcast, be a tour guide. I hear the baby crying.
Me too.
Anyway, yeah, we just like went around, and I love like the Salina Bridge every single
all the
time.
Little like history things
the
they
feels,
tell you about.
And then
the feels.
and then the Lava
them.
Yeah, but what's the performing arts
the
place?
Stage that was on Miss Congeniality?
Yeah, I love always going by there.
I forgot the name of this. That's bad.
Yeah.
We're not very good San Antonio.
But that's
we
a touristy
FIESTA every year.
Yeah. And when I lived at the Pearl, we had
okay, let's talk about that, because that
FIESTA.
I always think that's funny. Like when I think about our lives now, is growing up we would go to the Battle Flowers Parade every year.
Yeah.
Like we would go.
Tell us about FIESTA.
So the Battle of Flowers Parade, I don't really know what it means.
Me neither.
I tell you, we're bad San Antonians. We
Yeah.
should be better. But we would go every year and we would go on the street and we would, sit in our whatever and walk up and down the street.
The bleachers.
And, have our little cascarones.
Yeah.
And it's always really hot or raining.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that's what it is on Battle of Flowers.
Yeah.
And we used to love
But
sitting
we
there.
get off of school.
Yes.
So that Friday we get off. It's like a Mexican American holiday.
It's a San Antonian holiday. I don't know why you said that.
Yeah, but
It is a San Antonian.
it's like the culture is like Mexican American.
Okay,
I
yeah.
guess is what I meant.
Fiesta is like all about like the Mexican culture
Yeah,
and everything.
that's what I meant.
Yes, the Fiesta is. We would wear little flower crowns. It's really fun. But it's funny now. I feel like as we've gotten older, Lauren, when she used to live on Broadway, we would watch the parades in her
On my
apartment.
patio, yeah.
She had a patio, and I was like, ooh, now we have box seats for Fiesta. Like, we're so bougie.
Yeah.
And this year, our friends lived on Broadway.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
On the balcony. Y'all weren't here, but they also had a Fiesta party, and like we also had box seats. It was really cool. And our friends like are now have boats like in the parade. So
Oh
the
yeah.
Garcias,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So it's like that is the most fun ever.
Yeah.
Is when they come down.
When we see Kenny.
yeah, we're like, Kenny.
Oh, also we forgot to mention Diami this podcast.
Diami.
Shout out.
Oh wait, we were at his apartment. That's his apartment. We were at his. Oh man.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, Fiesta is just not the Battle of Flowers. So
Right.
the Battle of Flowers is just it's like
It's just that Friday.
a day parade, and then there's a night parade, and then there's a riverboat parade,
Yes.
and then there's
But Battle Flowers is probably the best, but I also like the night parade.
Yeah, I love the night parade.
Yeah.
It was raining that one time. Oh, duh. We just said that. It's always raining. What else? Oh, and then Oyster Bake.
Yeah.
Nyosa.
Okay, we went to Oyster Bake this year.
What did we go to Oyster Bake the year before too when Aaron Carter was there? Was it Oyster Bake? Yeah, it
I
was.
wasn't there with you guys though.
Yes,
This year it was Sean Paul.
Oh God. Uh-huh.
I
And you
got
were
that
pregnant.
right. Yes, everybody was like, "You're crazy for going to Oyster Bake like pregnant." Because I was probably like 8 months pregnant.
Oh my God.
And there's so many people at Oyster Bake, like so many people. And so I'm like sweating and like everybody's all around me.
Dancing.
And like, yes. And so for when Sean Paul, we're like, David was like, okay, we need to have like a freaking guards around you so that nobody bumps into you. So we stood like behind the sound booth and it was just, my feet were triple the size they were that night. So just from like walking around, and we were there for a while too.
What is I mean, why? Where did Oyster Bake come from? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But Fiesta lasts like literally 2 weeks.
It's cool because there's a lot of different things that go around for the different cultures.
Yeah.
In San Antonio.
Yeah, that's true.
They have the Cajun
uh-huh.
thing, and then at
The German thing,
yeah.
and what else they have?
I don't know.
They have Taste of the North Side. They have Taste of the South Side.
I don't think they have tasted this.
Do they not? Well, they have Nyosa, which is night in Old San Antonio. Some
Yeah,
people
those are
say
fun.
Nyosa, which is not Nyosa, it's Nyosa.
Nyosa.
Anyway, so it's like 2 weeks in April. And I remember the year that I was here, it was like in the middle of Easter week. So we
Yeah.
did 1 week and,
And
then
then
we
another
paused for Easter.
Yeah.
And then that was like 3 weeks
That
basically.
was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, because you go out like, and then there's like college night, and then which I don't go to because I'm 30, and then
About to be 31. Okay, bye. Good talk. I love San Antonio.
Anyway, yeah, we really do, but we really have to go. That's funny. Okay, thanks for listening. Episode number 3.
Love you guys.
Like, subscribe, do everything.
Bye.